What's good, everybody? What is good? What's going on? It has been a while. Welcome to the first stream of the year. Oh man, I hopefully that you guys are actually having a happy New Year's. This is the third day of the actual year going into it, so I'm just like adjusting some things. It's been crazy around my office. I've been messing with a whole lot of furniture and everything. Hold up, there we go. That looks better. All right, try not to get the wire tangled. Anyway, appreciate you guys actually being here. People, it's already been the first beginning of the year. I know a lot of your streamers have been ramping it up, going everyday live, trying to capitalize in the beginning of the year. I'm no such person. It doesn't bother me enough to do so because this is not what I do for a living. So you guys figured out what you're gonna be doing there. I have been thinking a lot about the last year a lot. Last year was a lot of changes for yours truly. Um, there was a lot that's been taking place. Not in what I did, what I accomplished, not that kind of way. Not that I'm thinking about that in that kind of perspective. But rather more like what actually changed throughout the actual year itself, right? And one thing that I've learned in 2025 is that being more honest doesn't being more honest doesn't always help you in the way people say it does. I'm typically a very open and honest person. Um, if I just don't open my mouth, I just don't open my mouth. And a lot of people say, well, you knew things, you didn't say anything, so it's an omission, blah, 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 blah. But that's really not the case or something that I really care about. To be honest with you, this tangling of the wire is really driving me nuts, but I'm gonna just deal with it because we're already live. Um, sometimes I think it does the opposite. Being an honest person, um, I know there's a lot of people that like to do things for the character, for the riff, and all this other stuff that people like to say. All these other little definitions or little wordings that I like to actually put out there. But for me, it doesn't really matter. None of that matters to me. I think if you are going online, Jesus Christ, it's getting hot in this room. Hold up. Here we go. If you are going online and then thinking that people should like you, but no one ever knows who you are, and then you get mad because people are bored of you because your all of your shit gets thrown out the window because you're not authentic. You have no one else to blame other than yourself. Now there might be some aspects of you of your real life or your own character that bleeds into the actual online space, and I get that. As creators, we want to be able to covet, to be able to protect those things. I am also a person who believes in a lot of that. But the one thing I can say, the few things I can actually say that's really true about the internet in general, as well as a few other things that I could say that's also detrimental when it comes to building communities and being online, is that first and foremost, people do want a person who's up there who's authentic. Even if you are a perspective or aspiring actor, right? People want some sense of authenticity when it comes to you. Now, with that being said, there are people who just take their entire persona of being online as who they are, and then let's just say if they ever do rise to any semblance of prominence, they can't keep that up because at some point they're going to get tired and they're going to say, "I just want people to know the real me." And you know what they're going to say? "Fuck you. This person's a stranger." Just keeping it honest, right? So sometimes, um, but being honest, like I said on my part, sometimes it does the opposite for you, and it slows down things for you. It makes situations actually awkward, especially among people that are used to always trying to play it up rather than play it down. It makes you look like a totally different person. It makes you look odd, even. And I think I've dealt a lot with that in the previous year. Now, there were moments where being honest cost me. It literally cost me. And not just in some dramatic way, just little things that started stacking up over time that I paid attention to. I noticed, and I just kind of threw in a little bucket to just watch. Uh, Conversations began changing. Doors that doors not opening the same way that they used to, say in 2024. People deciding who they thought I was without actually asking me a goddamn thing or doing any real research. Um, and I'm not gonna pretend I didn't notice how easy it would have been to just lean into the negative aspects instead. To lean into the fuckery, to lean into the clownery, to do all that shit. Because let's just be honest, negativity does work. Oh shit. Damn. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't even mean to have that up there. Let me just take that off real quick. Or just real quick. It, Negativity gets reactions. Negativity gets reactions. It gives people something to rally around. And I think the big problem is that everybody has already caught on to that, folks. If everybody wants to believe that negativity sells, then there is no positivity left behind, which means that it only gets people to just what? Only think that the entire internet, that anything in life, because people drag the internet into real life, everything is cynical, everything is negative. And then the shit that when we get to the most extreme people, because people are always trying to find that how far in the pit could I actually go to show that I am the king of negativity, to the point where I'm fucking you a bitch. I'm killing your grandpa. I'm slapping my D on your daughter's forehead. How far are we gonna go in order to sell negativity? To the point where I said we drag this shit into real life, right? And then the entire humanity is just looking like a shit show. We're basically just offing each other literally in the streets for content. By the way, we saw this in 2025. We saw content creators murking each other on more than one instance. On more than one instance in 2025. We just left it. We saw this happen. When do we say maybe we go a little too far? And the truth of the matter is that anyone who thinks that they go too far, you haven't gone far enough. Because you know why? There's always a new generation of inspiring creators. Always. We got Resto in the building who already hit with the 3 months on the membership, talking about, hey, yes, sir. I appreciate you, my guy. I appreciate you. I just literally took away my freaking my thing, but I appreciate it. Let me do this real quick. Maybe I can. I haven't messed with my settings for a while. It's been a new year, so I haven't really messed with my settings right now. Uh, nope. That's not gonna do it. Nope. I don't wanna. We'll do the right side. Nope, we won't do the right side because all that is gone. Hold up. Hold up. Sorry, I got new settings I'm working on, so I'll just do this. I'll put my little markers up there. Uh, like I said, how far are we willing to go to sell negativity? Because most people are not looking for positive aspects. And keep in mind, there are plenty of positive content that's happened to be out there. There's plenty of positive content is out there, but people are just really not interested in it because people think that little skirmishes with really people that don't even matter in real life is more prevalent because they think it means something more in the future. If you are a low level creator and you're beefing with low level creators, you're both two people at the bottom of the fucking barrel. Why do you believe you actually are making a difference? But we're gonna move from that. We're gonna move from that because I can already feel like some people feel like Rasta. I feel like you're already sticking your thumb in my eye. So we're gonna move from that, because I'm gonna talk a little bit about pretty much the topic was, which is why I started rebooting myself in 2025. And now that I'm even looking at the title, let's just go into the aspect of fear because I think a lot of people are not admitting it, which is why they're so quickly to co-opt and get into things that they normally wouldn't have, amping it up, and they won't say it outright, but there's a small hint of it, right? Fear. Fear. Ladies and gentlemen, let me do something real quick because it's on my nerves right now. Hold on. Let me do something real quick. What the hell just happened here? Hold up. That was weird. Okay, that was weird. I don't know why it's doing that. I have to change that. I don't know why it's doing that. Give me 1 second here. That is annoying the ish out of me. We're gonna do this real quick. We're gonna move this. We're gonna move this up. I'm gonna move this right up here, and we'll get that right on the side. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. All right. And actually, that's kind of annoying me just a little bit. So I'm gonna shrink it down. All right. So I can see what you're saying, but you're not actually distracted to me. All right. Cool. So fear, lighties, and gentlemen. Actually, now I can't even read it. That's what's crazy. I thought you guys were good enough. For some reason, my other screen is showing that it's really large, and it shouldn't be. Hold up, let's do this real quick. Oh, dude, now I can read that. I can read that. All right. Fear. Fear doesn't have to turn into a villain story of your own. And when I mean that, right? When I mean that is that there are people who decided that for some reason 2025 became a part where everybody wanted to start being on their villain arc. I'm a villain. I'm a demon. I'm a succubus. You're all plagiarizing your own shit. Everybody's copying somebody else. I noticed that more than anything else in 2025. Everybody thought they were gonna be the big ish. And I'm like, y'all all just really need to sit the fuck down and just worry about your own lane. I think 2025 should have been about developing your own lane. While everybody was trying to worry about amping it up and trying to do the most, if you feel like you're being attacked, is because the shoes fit. That's because the shoes fit, Resto. If you feel like you're being attacked, it's because the shoes are fitting. They're really good. They're snugged on you. They're a perfect fit. If you feel that way, all right. If you felt like you needed to be sitting there doing a villain arc, you weren't the only one. But unlike a lot of people who were trying to amp it up in 2025, yours truly was tampering it down to the point where I even had people in the background and turn around and say, "Wrestler, what's wrong? Why aren't you doing the most like everybody else? Why are you tampering it down? Why are you tapering it to the minimum? Why is it you're not trying to do so much?" Why is it we don't want to? Why is it you're not trying to push yourself to be on stream every mother freaking day? And I say because honestly, I gave us several reasons, by the way, but I don't think anyone ever listened. The first one is that I don't get paid to do this. That's the first and foremost thing. I don't get paid to do this. This is not a job. I know you guys see me online. There's no production crew. Look, look. There's no crew by. There's no crew nearby. There's no one doing shit. There's no executive producer. There's no assistants. There's no one. It's just me. There's no big studio. There's no motherfucker standing over me with a boom mic. There's no key grips. There's no technical assistance. There's nobody. I don't get paid to do this. That's the first and foremost thing. The next thing is that I'm not willing to sell out the most important thing to me than anything else when it comes to content. And I've been saying it for a long fucking time, and no one pays attention, especially people who just want to click a link and watch. The same people, by the way, that they come into a room and they go, and they notice there's nobody really in here. There's 4, 5, 6 people, and they go, I'm out. Because if I don't see anything in double digits, and I mean like 20 or more, I ain't staying. Which is why I'm like, oh, thank God, because I don't want you here anyway. Because my content is not for you anyway. Go to the places that like to give you a quick hand job mentally, get you off, because you're panel hopping anyway. You're stream hopping. You're not really focusing. You're not really listening. You're not really taking anything into perspective or anything into account. So feel free to go. I'm happy when I see the number quickly jumps up and then leaves, because I'm like, it's working. I'm getting rid of another person and hopefully they'll unsubscribe. Hopefully they will. Who thinks that they're gonna come in and just see a panel full of people arguing so they can sit there and snuggle up in their seat and get their drink and they go, what we're talking about today? What we're talking about today? And then you don't get it. But because they don't even automatically see that, they go, oh, it's just him talking about himself, talking about I'm leaving. You know what? I've been going to him for his last 4 fucking streams, and he hasn't been talking shit with nobody. I'm unsubscribing. And you know what? I'm going to make it a point. I'm not even going to tell him that I'm unsubscribing. He's really going to understand now. I don't notice you. I notice the number drop and I go, another one bites the dust. Do. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone. And another one gone. Another one bites the dust. That's what I'm thinking. Because I only want the right type of people who's going to be for the content. The only ones who are really looking to leave on a regular basis are only those who are looking for fuck shit. Which is why I get so many people who have asked me in 2025, Wrestler, but when are you going to start up Opinionated again? Wrestler, when are you going to bring up another Tesla stream? Wrestler, when are you going to pick fights with somebody else? Wrestler, when you going to have a debate with Gatsby? When are you going to let go of panel versus nuts? When are you gonna develop something of your own? Instead of you worrying about what other creators are gonna be talking about and who they're gonna be talking about, when you gonna start your motherfucking channel? Hmm? What you doing? Don't worry about what I'm doing. What are you doing? I don't even know who you are. The same way how I don't like other people telling me what I should be doing, and then I go, "What do you do?" I went to your page. You have nice little playlist of rock songs, but you have no fucking content. And you think you're gonna tell me what I should be putting out? Really? What I should be doing? How I could be able to make my content better? You're a groupie. Do groupie shit. Stay out there with your mouth hanging open, waiting to get baby bird fed. Don't tell me shit. If you've never recorded a video, if you've never hit the record button, if you've never hit the go live button, do not take your time to tell me shit because you have no concept whatsoever. And that's the important part, concept. And this is why I'm talking about fear, people. Fear. Fear does not have to turn you into a villain in your own story, even though I wholeheartedly know that I am the villain in my own story. But it doesn't need to be. You don't need to be an ain't shit person in order to start doing content. You don't need to be the person who needs to walk around trying to start fights in order to be a content creator. What does that mean? Or rather, what does that ugh, what does that mean when you start using fear, ladies and gentlemen, fear to justify things you wouldn't normally stand on? What does that mean? Fear by because here's the truth of the matter. Fear by itself is not special. It's not special. People will sit there like, I'm not in fear. Here you are. I I've had so many people. I've had so many people. Aren't you worried about not getting views? I'm like, I really don't get views. What am I missing out on? Well, well, aren't you worried about not getting a lot of subscribers? I'll be honest with you, just based on what you said previously. I'd rather get views than subscribers. So subscribers don't mean shit to me. I would rather have a plethora of views than a shit ton of subscribers. Most of you guys are, I'm happy you said that. Yes. Most people are just fearful about going live, period. I'm happy you said that. This is important. Most people are afraid to just go live. Most people find themselves to be way more important than they actually are. You won't even do a faceless channel because you thinking that your voice is so recognizable that people gonna say, you know what? HR is gonna call you tomorrow because you know what? I think I heard someone who sounds like you. It could have been anywhere in the globe. Anywhere in the globe. But it sounds exactly like you. So you know what? Here comes your fucking pink slip. Because you think you're that important. Let me tell you something right now. You are not that special. You're not. Your voice is not that recognizable. You're not that fucking special. You really don't mean that much. Not to me, or Jesus. You're not that special. No one's paying attention to you. The only one who's in their way is you. You are in your own fucking way. Oh no, companies found out work is in social media. But here's the truth of the matter. So you're right about this. Companies can find workers on social media, but there's a bigger dynamic that people are not thinking about when it comes to that. First and foremost, the idea that any company believe that in this day and age, in the age where, as much as they push for therapists to have, as much as they push for people to have therapists, a lot of therapists shit happens to be online, over the phone, webinars, whatever. Because most people don't want to go to offices anymore. And because therapists also cost so much money, there are so many people that don't do therapy. So they turn around and they turn to social media. Because to be honest with you, while a therapist is supposed to help you acknowledge some things, get you the tools to be able to manage. It's not a cure. Not a cure. It's management, right? Let's just be honest. The first foremost part that you're doing is that you're just venting what's wrong. You are venting what is wrong. And people bypass that step to go to social media because social media is free. It's free. And then you have other people, mainly men, which is why, as much as social media, as much as YouTube itself is dominated by male watchers, the people who get some of the most views, highest views ever, and do very little fucking shit are women. When you say, well, why don't you just do it? Because apparently it beats therapy. You know what they say? Therapy? Therapy? Wow. Okay. Well, I can't help you then. Well, here's my thing about that. Let's just say you just support Trump. I don't give a fuck. What's that mean to me? If it's weird right now that people have even put forth, ladies too, by the way, have put politics at the forefront of everything. Do you believe that someone in Scandinavia? Do you believe that someone in Hong Kong? Do you believe that someone in Yokohama? Do you believe that someone in Seoul? Do you believe that someone in it just left my fucking head. Sydney is sitting here worrying about Trump? That's a US thing. If you are basing your religion wildly on politics, if you are basing your relationship wildly on politics, you're already a lost soul. You are already doomed. You are already SOL and JWF. That is shit out of luck and jolly well fuck. That's just the way it is. You're running out of time. You're running out of time. Your relationship running out of time. Your life is running out of time. Everything is running out of time. Your family's running out of time. The chances of you having kids running out of time. Your job's running out of time because AI is taking your shit. Everything is running out of time because you have based the most important things on such trivial events. Life is not about religion. Life is not about politics. Life is not about how much money you can accumulate. Life is about choices, trade offs, and people. because you cannot get shit done without other people. That is just the way it is. Sorry if you didn't get the memo. That's just the way it is. And your fear is not special. Your fear only exacerbates shit that's not even real. Here's the truth of the matter. The world, not society, not government, not religion, will do its reset whether you are here or whether you are not. It does not, the world does not give a shit about you the same way how you do not give a shit about cells in your body. Let me say that again for you. The world, the planet does not give a shit about you solely the same way how you do not give a solitary fuck about every individual cell in your body. You should be worried about living the best life that you can and stop worrying about how you can fucking be a freedom fighter for everybody else. This is why instead of you getting with that, hey, guy, you guy, instead of you trying to get with that girl that you've been dreaming with all your fucking life, and she's finally single and she's finally come back home to town, you won't fucking get with her because why? You heard she got dicked down by a guy named Resto. And he's a ninja on top of that. You think she's off limit, but she's single. That was in her past, and she's looking to start all over, and she ain't got no fucking kids. No kid. But you won't take her because you think she's ruined now. Jesus! Why? Why have you forsaken me? You sent her back to me just so I could find that shit was bust down. She's back to you. Did you never heard of repentance? Have you never heard of second tries and second chances? She's back to you. You still jerk off to her prior to her coming back to your little hometown again after she done fell off the fucking wagon and she been passing on a little bit. She been touched on just a little bit. Did she have Resto probably slap it upside her face a couple times? Sure, but you don't know which temple it was. So you're going to have to flip a coin every time you're going to choose which temple you want to kiss her on. It's kiss her on the nose instead. You don't know. Maybe he touched that too. We don't know. But your fear is what's putting you away. And guess what? Your fear is not special. Your fear by itself is not special. Everyone has a fear. The problem is when your fears start making decisions for you. When your fear starts making decisions for you and your desire, the way you dress shit up, is like it's being real. Or that you believe that you're being smart about it. Or that you're protecting yourself when you're really not. You're really not. I watched a lot of people last year turn fear into attitude, turn frustration into personality, turn constant negativity into their online war zone, turn it themselves, their own negativity into who they are now going to be going forward online. And I realized I didn't want to move like that. Even if it meant moving at a slower pace, even if it meant not hitting that button going live more. That's also why I stopped watching so many creators on live last year. I stopped watching motherfuckers because I didn't want to even know about the bullshit. Why are people dying outside? This is like the third ambulance that's come by. Anyway, I stopped watching a lot of people last year. Last year was a big focus. And again, a lot of people came to me and said, "Did you see this? Did you see that?" I'm like, no, I didn't. I never bothered telling you guys because I just don't tell you guys what my plans are anymore. So if I'm like, I'm gonna take a break from social media. I'm not gonna watch people. Why would I bother telling you? You're gonna tell me to watch people anyway. So why would I bother? No. So yeah, there's a lot of people, a lot of creators I did not watch. Everybody said, "Oh, did somebody's going live?" The whole big thing. You guys had your whole big thing talking about what was going on with the Power to Dusty slash Flow State slash Raging Tomato slash Andrew Wilson slash Rob Door slash fucking Landry slash Paul and Slave. People who I don't watch, by the way. If there was anybody I would watch, it would probably be Sarah, to be honest with you, just because she hosts an actual debate show. But when I start looking at what's going on here, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna take a break. I try giving it a shot. I give it about maybe 30 minutes of my time, and then I realize I'm exhausted already. Not to say that she doesn't have a great program. It's just the idea of what the idea of what the concept of a space is has the novelty has worn off on me. That's what it is. I will never even the other people that just got mentioned, I don't watch them. I think the only person I would really say I've even knew that I did watch is really Flow slash the Power to Dusty. But even that I haven't really watched anymore because I just it all falls into a category that's been co-opted. You know, the idea when people even say the panel verse, by the way, which was my big moniker for that year prior, and saying I am not a part of it because I could see where the tea leaves were going. And funny enough, it went exactly the way I thought. Panel verse is not about the people and what they bring to the table, but rather how they can all fall into one big barrel of being the same thing. And I even said that even at the last quarter of the year, saying that you need more diversity because the panelverse has shrunk down. It's shrunk into being, if you're not doing these things, if you're not talking about these people, you're not part of it. And I was like, oh, thank God. And then someone said, that's not true, wrestler. You're still a part of it. And I'm like, go look at the catalog of all of last year. What makes me a part of it? Well, because you do a panel. Oh, so you go into every political. I guess Pierce Morgan is also a part of the panelverse. Well, no, because he came from mainstream media. No. He's actually had content creators. He's had Pearl. He's had The Amazing Lucas. He's had Andrew Wilson. He's had Andrew Tate. All in 1 year. He's had several content creators. He's had Lily Gaddis. Lily Gaddis was up there. Why isn't he not considered to be part of the panelverse? What's the fear in that? Are you afraid to tell Pierce Morgan that he's a part of the panelverse? Are you afraid that he might take it over and then you guys will have nowhere to be? Let me give you a little thought experiment that happened in December. In December, I decided to say to do a big script. It took me about a month, believe it or not, but I was very dedicated. Did a script. And the script finally came down to saying, what exactly is the panelverse? Who exactly is in the panelverse? And its most common, not common, but its most conventional and current information says this. The panelverse is a space. Even the very name itself, panelverse, has been pioneered and created by Andrew Wilson and Rob Noor. Anyone want to agree to that? You creators, you viewers who have been around, would you say that Andrew Wilson and Rob Noor created the panelverse from the name to the way how it behaves now. Would you agree on that? That's what Grok told me. That's even what ChatGPT told me. Would you agree to that? Hmm? Think about it, especially for you people who have been around 2024 rolling into 2025 or now in 2026. Would you agree on that? Hmm? There's no such thing as the metaverse, True Keys, because the term meta is already associated with Facebook. See, you can say that all you want, Brick. If you go in depth knowledge with again someone who scripts, and you put forth your own, you put forth in it. You know what it mentions? In fact, all of you guys, and it doesn't mention all of you. In fact, let me go look. Let me go find it. I could probably find it. It was about a month ago. Let me go find it. It mentions a few people, but it was very, very specific as to what the panelverse is and what the panelverse was about. It was some time ago. Gotta go find it. Let's see. Let's see if I can find something in it. No. All right. I did a whole big thing. Let me see if I can pull up a summary. See if I can do a summary. Let's see. Oh, okay, folks. All right, here we go. So I did a whole big, like I got a whole lot of writings, but we can listen to what the summary is. So I just put summary of the panelverse. By the way, before you guys even really get a whiff of what it's gonna say, right? Let me harp on a couple of things. When they started telling me the co-option of the space and what it's about and blah 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 blah, it does. Sorry, folks. Sorry if you are if GPT doesn't acknowledge you, if it doesn't say, "Hey, play foundations. Hey, resto chesto. Hey." There's a lot of people it never mentions. And I said, well, what about this person? What about that person? And it's like, we don't have any knowledge of that. I said, well, let's go digging deep. Let's go. I pulled up links to channels. I said, here's this person's YouTube channel. Do a deep dive, blah, blah, blah. Because some of you guys have clip videos, sometimes have white videos, you private videos. Sometimes you guys have left the space altogether. Maybe some of you guys got demonetized and lost your channels. It's hard to really say. But there's a lot of people because they are not, and I'm just gonna put it this way. This is the way how I looked at it. Because you guys are not associated, guys are not close to an Andrew Wilson, you have been dubbed not part the panelverse. Not me. It's not a me thing. Because I tried mentioning you and they had a problem finding you. Even when I gave you your links, some of you, when I gave you your links, it could not find how you might be a part of that space. Gonna keep it a buck. So if I ask, give me a summary, which I just did, give me a summary of the panelverse. Oh, wait. You trust your lying eyes? Brick, you trust your lying eyes? See, the problem that you're having with trusting AI, Brick, is that the rest of the world will follow that. Because what do news medias follow? I'm sorry if you guys are in, by the way, let me just say this. I'm sorry if any of you are in a age where you believe that human beings are the people that are running the actual cycles now. There are people who are losing their jobs because they're like, it's cheaper to just get AI. There will become a point by the time we get to 2035, there will be a time where CEOs are losing their jobs because an AI CEO is better than a human CEO. Write it down now. You guys will be begging for a labor job of picking strawberries because it's one of the few things right now that AI cannot do. But it's coming. There are people who work for city jobs like transportation who are losing their jobs to AI, and robotics is right next to it thanks to people like Elon Musk. Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you, folks. I'm going to just say it. And if it bothers you, you're going to have to sort it out with your own Lord. Uh-oh. Appreciate that. So we got two things. I didn't even notice that. Appreciate you for the 10.99, the honed. And we also have I got you. You guys are gonna ask me these things or say these things, but I wouldn't know because I don't follow any of it. So NPC the game, you say Wilson is a Panaverse originator, not Rob. Okay, hold up. He's a Panaverse originator, not Rob Nor. Panaverse started with a group of truthers, and Wilson merged within 3 years ago. How true is that? Because here's what I'm gonna tell you, NPC. The term Panelverse did not come up recently. It didn't. Who was the person? Who are the people who actually founded the name Panelverse? Because not for nothing, in 2024, there was still no fucking space. There was no name for this space. For people like Flow State, like Sarah, like Destiny, because Destiny didn't start on YouTube. He was in Twitch. Not so erudite. All these different creators who were well before YouTube ever started doing live streams, they had a space. And Andrew Wilson wasn't a part of that. Well before the Whatever podcast ever got established. Well before Fresh and Fucking Fit got established. There was no Panelverse. So how did it turn into all of a sudden Flo was a part of the Panelverse? Sarah's a part of the Panelverse? All these different people just somehow just got sucked into the void of the Panelverse. Where did that come from? Where did the term, the name come from? Because you say 3 years ago. No one's ever heard of the Panelverse 3 years ago. I sure didn't. And I'm a person that's been online. And it was never introduced around the core players of this area. In fact, for a very person, Resto Chest, who was probably here in the chat, who was pushing for a name, pushing for a space, for a sector. And I was like, who's agreeing to that? Because there was none. Now everybody's saying the word Panelverse. And I have been very adamant from the beginning. That's not my lane. So where did it actually come from? Because until, I'll be honest with you, other people started mentioning it, the name was not a known thing. It wasn't a known thing. If you go onto YouTube right now and you type in the word Panelverse, you'll only get maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 channels. If the Panelverse was a 3-year running thing, wouldn't you have a plethora of creators under that same banner? Whether you do an @Panelverse or whether you do a #Panelverse, you are not going to get a whole lot of information. How could that be a 3-year running thing if there's virtually zero information? If there is a 0.1% of information about the space? How is that possible? Things don't add up. If it's shadow banned, it doesn't exist because there's no acknowledgement of it. If it's shadow banned, it cannot get pushed. Therefore, it is not recognized. So if it's 3 years running, 3 years worth of information, how come you cannot find 3 years worth of popular content all under this space? If you want to go look for Manosphere, you can find it. If you want to look for Black Manosphere, you can find it. If you're looking for DMP, you can find it. If you want to look for Gooners, you can find it. If you want to go look for the Groypers, you can find it. If you want to look up the MAGA, you can find it. But Panelverse? Why is that so hidden then if it's been a 3-year running thing? Now, I'm not going to say that you probably don't have the validity to it. If it was really a thing running for 3 years, how was the entire space virtually non-existent until, I want to say, early 2025? Because that's really when the name Panelverse took off. I'm not talking about the channel, because even the channel didn't really pop off until late 2024. And if you say Panelverse, by the way, in PC, don't you just mean Andrew Wilson? Because even the very Panelverse channel mainly talks about Andrew Wilson only. Who are these other content creators that they're being talked about? I'm telling you what even AI of its own infinite amount of research has pulled up. And to make it better, just so we can all hear it together, here's what mine pulled together. Hold up. Let me go find the link again. Here we go. A quick summary. I tried pulling a whole bunch of people into it, but here's the summary. Let's listen. Real combat. Oh, you said you're not hearing it? Hold up. You're not hearing it? All right, hold up. I might have to pull it through here. Give me. Oh, thanks for letting me know. Hold up. Here we go. I'm gonna pull it through. Yeah, Britt just told me, Mama. Hold up. I'm gonna pull it right now. I'm so used to being on OBS now. Hold up. All right, so here we go. So summary of the Panelverse. Let's see what it says.
Here's a sharp, no fluff summary of the Panelverse as it stands. The Panelverse, what it is and what it's become. The Panelverse started as a chaotic, creator led universe of unscripted YouTube panels, debates, hot takes, wild clashes, and real time chaos. It wasn't owned by anyone. It was built by Modern Men Lost Again, MMLA, OTW Live, Flow State, Dusty, Raging Tomato, Resto Chesto, and others who created a space where anyone could jump in and speak up. No gatekeepers, no filters, just fire. But as the space grew, Christian nationalist personalities like Andrew Wilson entered late and started rebranding the scene, co-opting names like Panelverse, formats like Verbal Combat, and pushing a more filtered, preacher-pilled version of the culture. Suddenly, people started switching up. even atheists quoting scripture just to stay in the mix or sit at the table. Now, there's a quiet battle over what the panelverse really is. The original creators, raw, diverse, unpredictable, and unfiltered. The new wave, branded, performative, and increasingly religious coded. It's no longer just a content space, it's a cultural tug of war between authenticity and image. Some creators bend the knee for clout, others stand on what they built. The question going forward, will the panelverse stay wild and creator driven, or fold into a branded echo chamber run by whoever yells God the loudest?
Huh. So there's a couple of things I'm gonna take into that, couple of things I'm not gonna take into that. All right. So there's a couple of things I'm gonna take into that, and a couple of things I'm not gonna take into that. Uh, Number one, let me tell you a couple of things that I'm not gonna take into that. Originally in the research, I am a bit of a researcher. First thing I'm gonna put into it is that the first thing I'm gonna put into it is that originally it did not know who Resto Chesto was. It know who MMLA was. It knew who OTW was. It knew who Flow was. I had to tell it that Flow and the Power to Dusty are the same people. It didn't know. It put them as two different people. I will say it knew who Sarah the Raging Tomato was. It didn't know who Resto was. It knew who Joe Cool was. Actually, let me go. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. What I found actually very surprising is that it mentioned verbal combat, but it never mentioned speakeasy. It never did. And I never put speakeasy in it, but it did mention verbal combat. So I think that's interesting in the summary. Um, let's see. There were other people that it mentioned. It mentioned Joe Cool. I think it mentioned Cynthia. I'm gonna have to find it. Andrew Wilson's not Christian nationalist, but he has a lot of Christian nationalists that are around him, which is interesting. I'm trying to find the people that they had listed. Hold up. Let's see. Let's see. Collaborations. Nope. 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 Moderator Mondays. It's talking about Sarah. Moderator Mondays. Thursday throwdowns. This is all 2024. Sarah the Raging Tomato. I'm trying to find, where is it at? Because they mentioned a bunch of people who I say were creators, but some of them probably don't do things for a while. I don't really know. I got so much information. Jesus Christ. I've been working on this for like a month. So I've got a lot of stuff. It's probably somewhere near the top. That's why I'm trying to get to the top to see some of the people that was mentioned. Okay. So tell me if you know some of these people, because I don't really know who they are. So we've got Paula Enslaved. It's weird because they mentioned Team Fatty, but Team Fatty is not really a part of the panelverse. Who else is in here? I see a Cynthia. I see Joe Cool. I see Goblin Majesty. I don't know who that is. I see a Landry. Kane's Catharsis. I don't know who that is. I'm looking for more people. Hold up. I don't even know. Like I said, I don't even know who some of these people are. I'm surprised it doesn't mention like a Jack Talcott because he's not in here. Rob Norris mentioned several times. And actually, they literally said he and Andrew are the pioneers, it was real crazy when I saw that. Um, OTW. Okay, I see OTW a couple of times in here. I didn't even know that MMLA was Modern Men Lost Again. I've never watched their content. Oh, some guy named Moose. He's in here. I don't know who that is, but I've heard his name before. I don't know where, but I've heard his name before. He was mentioned in here. I see you guys are moving all over my chat. Hold up, give me a moment. I'll read what you guys are saying in the chat. Trying to get all the names in here that I could possibly see. I don't know who is. Titles such as, oh, these are titles, they're not people. Let's see. And these are more recent as of the late 2024, 2025. So I'm not gonna mention those. And those are like titles like the I'm not even gonna mention it. Like it's not even important. I'm looking for people, very specific people. A lot of people are who I know is in space. Like for instance, it never mentioned the Marathon Cab. It never mentioned Mel Pandora. It never mentioned a lot of different people. I'm surprised Joe Cool got pulled into it the way he did. I'm surprised Joe freaking Talcott didn't get pulled in. Like I don't get it. There's a lot of people in the space. Oh, funny enough, it says Zephyr. I got Zephyr's name in this. I have Zephyr's name in this. I just found Zephyr. Let's see. Like I said, I don't have a speakeasy in here, which I would say he's Panelverse. It mentions different communities and programs and platforms. Let's see. This is the whatever podcast. This is the whatever podcast. This is all on Andrew. Notable in 2024. That's what it said. The controversies, public moments. It's talking about Andrew Wilson. So I want to skip this part that it's trying to go through. Other controversies. I'm trying to skip that. I'm trying to business development and monetization strategies. Oh, let's see. Different ways that people have been able to monetize. I see BitChute. I see Rumble. I'm looking for people though. Ooh, this is just hold up. Like my eyes are like really hurting. Is mainly supported on a community. I see super chats, donations, subscribers. I see Patreon. I see Andrew Wilson's name come up several times. Collaborative branding and events, especially in 2024, going to 2025. Wait, hey, people, did we have a panel? Did we have a cupcake award? What the fuck is a cupcake award? What's the cupcake awards? It says the Panelverse Awards, informally dubbed the Cupcake Awards. What the fuck is the Cupcake Awards? I didn't even know that was a thing. Was that a thing, guys? Was that a thing? That's crazy. So something about the Cupcake Awards. Let's see. I'm trying to get some more people in here. Other actors. Yo, NPC, you're never mentioned. NPC, you're never mentioned. You're never mentioned as being part of the space. You're never mentioned for your awards. You never mentioned it. Yeah, you said Snafu. Snafu snaps. Caucasian Sasquatch. He's never mentioned. I haven't ran across him in all of my findings. And I got a month. I got a month long of shit. Just trying to penetrate. Pause. Penetrate the space. Like, Brick, you're never mentioned. You're never mentioned. Like I said, you're never mentioned, and I never put you in to be mentioned. I did mention someone. I did mention Mel. I did mention a lot of other people. No, Orthodox guy came in way later, but he wasn't brought up, and I didn't think to put him in. Brick. If you're talking about Orthodox guy, I didn't even think to put him in. I didn't even think to add his name to it, and he was never mentioned. Like I said, the same way how Resto was never mentioned, but then when I put in his channel, it knew who he was based on the fact that he has been on flows. I guess during whatever prominent time of flows, and even maybe on Sarah's. I don't know. I can't really say. I didn't put in NPC, but I should have put in NPCs because NPC is kind of known for what he did for the Stream Award. Oh, yep, the Machine Lies. The Machine Lies is in there. Yes, True Keys. Machine Lies is in there. The Machine Lies is in there. You said Machine Learning, but the Machine Lies is also in here. He's in here as well as being part of the Panelverse. I thought I said his name, but you're reminding me. Yeah, his name is in here. The Machine Lines is in here. It's just really not a lot of names. And I get it. Maybe because there's just way too many people in the space, maybe. So it's picking up the most how do I want to say this? Influential. Maybe that's what it is. And again, guys, let's calm down. Let's calm down for a moment. If you're getting your panties in the bunch, if your butt is puckered because AI did not find you, it's not about you. The conversation is not about you. Let's get something straight. It's not about you. Oh, why didn't ChatGPT mention me? It's not about you. It's a summarization of what exactly is looked at as being considered part of the Panelverse. It's not about you. Let's get something straight here. The same way how it didn't mention yours truly. It didn't mention me. And I didn't add myself to it. Because I'm not a part of the Panelverse regardless of what y'all say. Because if you're going to add me a part of the Panelverse, you need to also add Piers fucking Morgan. So some of y'all need to just chill the fuck out. It's not about you. It's not about whether ChatGPT can recognize you. Chill the fuck out. You say that all lies, AI lies, rest of the Panelverse. Brick, how many panels you've been on this year? Just this year alone. I'm gonna be generous too. Not including Sarah. I'm gonna be very generous. I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, since Vegas, the majority channels that I've ever been on have been 3 people. I made it my mission. Resto Chesto, Marathon Kev, and actually Blind. I have not gone on no one else's channel. Oh, sorry. After I came back from New York, I was on Flo's 2 times. 2 times. Outside of that, my ass has been in a chat. I have not gone on people's panels. I have been in a chat. You have been on other people's channels, on their panels, more than 20 times. You are a liar. More than 20 times. I feel like every time I see Sarah on, you're on the goddamn channel. And Sarah is on several times a week, Brick. Let's not do this. And we're talking about an entire year. And I'm talking about what my actions were as of February last year. I have been painstakingly adamant about what I've been doing that entire year, to the point where I did not go live I did not do opinionated for 2 damn quarters. 2 quarters. I've been so painstakingly rigid. This is why I even started up my stream saying I've been so honest that it's actually hurt me. Because I could have grifted. Because I could have been on people's streams. Because I could have been on the bullshit. Because I could have been on the whole fuckery train and everything the entire year. I've been so adamant about keeping my nose clean ever since Vegas took place. Because even after Vegas took place and I was still running through season 3, I was sitting there thinking, I need to make changes. So many changes that I needed to make that I did not even start opinionated for 2 quarters. 2 full quarters. That's half a year I did not even do my own shit because I understood something needed to change. And I eyeballed and researched this entire space that they say I'm a part of. Tell me where I'm lying. Hey, tell me where I'm lying, folks. I had so many people from the summertime we all sweating our nut sacks off to the cool time that we're in now. When you gonna bring back opinionated? Tell me where I'm lying. Oh, the DBD's a collab show. It's not my show. In fact, I've been said it way in the beginning. OG's the one that presented the show to me. If you don't notice, because I respect OG so much from being the originator of the show, OG always goes first. Well, not always. The last time I went first because he was doing something. OG always leads the show. I am the co-host of that show, of the DBD. It is a panel because OG does all his shows basically being a panel. But the DBD is with OG Do Dirty and how does it always go? Welcome to the DBD with your host OG Do Dirty, and I always go second. I am the co-host. It is not my show. We co-host the show, but he is the lead of the show. OG is the one that come up with the topic. It's no, the winch. It is not OG's show. It's not OG's show, but he is the lead of that show. Just like if it's let's just say if it's a podcast and we understand that Joe Budden is the head of the podcast, I'm a co-host of the show, but I'm not Joe Budden. Yeah, no. You're a guest where you go to, but you're not a co-host. There's a difference, Brick. You're a guest. You're not a co-host. You actually have to have stake in the show. There's a difference, Brick. See, if I don't want to go live because I'm not feeling well, OG doesn't go live. If OG's busy or OG's sick and he can't do whatever, I don't go live. I never try to carry a show without him. And he doesn't try to carry a show without me. Sorry if you don't understand that because you don't have an actual person that you're collaborating with. Yeah, just like, well, yay and nay, Resto. Yay and nay. Because not for nothing, Kev has taken the keys to your shit and ran your shit, and you've done the same with Kev. But you guys have done solo streams. I don't know if that really counts. OG has never gone onto my show having the keys and ran a shit under my platform. He's never done that, and I've never done that to him. So there's the difference. There's a difference there. Just keeping it a buck. All right, got NPC the game in here with the 75, 70 freaking 5 over there in the Taiwan. He says, I'm being mentioned because of the description of your reading in the panel verse verbatim. No, you weren't mentioned. You're not mentioned at all. You were not mentioned at all. You were not mentioned at all in it. I went through it. You were not mentioned. Honestly, you were not mentioned in the entire shit. You were not mentioned in the entire thing. The same way how, like I said, as much as Marathon Kev has said he's panelverse, he's never been mentioned in the whole the AI thing. You weren't mentioned. I wasn't mentioned. So no, I'm sorry, you weren't. But you said verbatim the word was taken from promotions of the awards. The awards wasn't mentioned. It didn't even acknowledge the awards, which is a fire award. Don't get me wrong; it was a nice award show, but it wasn't even mentioned. It wasn't even mentioned. And the sad part about it is that because it's a separate chat altogether, just having to do about the panelverse, it knows nothing about my other stuff that I do. It has nothing to do about what other stuff that other people do. It doesn't know. So it's only focused on what specifically needs to go through, and that is the panelverse itself. And because, let's just be honest, Andrew Wilson has gotten a big boost last year, it has looked at what he's done and the other people around him, and a lot of us were not mentioned in it. And when I say us, I really mean you, because I really don't see myself as being part of the Panelverse. Alexandra, what's going on? You said promotion the AI is pulling from my recent posts. It, it it didn't mention you, so I don't know what post is mentioned. It's pulling you from. It, my AI did not mention you, so I don't know what I don't know what you're saying it's pulling from. It didn't even mention the awards at all, at all. It didn't mention you. It didn't mention Gabriel. It didn't mention NPC, the game. It didn't mention none of that stuff. It didn't mention none of it. When I was talking about originators in the space, even prior to Andrew Wilson, you were not one of the people. This is why I said it pulled up Cynthia. It pulled up whoever the goblin guy, the goblin person is. Landry, a guy named, is it Landry or Laundry or I don't know the person. Like it mentioned Paul. It mentions it mentioned Moose. It mentioned a Joe Cool. It mentioned Sarah. It mentioned OTW. It mentioned a few people, but us other creators, somewhat adjacent, but not really there. It didn't it didn't mention me, and I was like, whoo! Again, it didn't really mention Resto until I put in what about Resto Chesto? What about Marathon Cab? I didn't put you in. Sorry, NPC. I didn't put you in, so maybe it would have dug more information if I actually put you in. I never mentioned Brick, so it didn't put you guys because it's looking for people who are very dominant in that space. And I guess it just didn't see immediately it thought Cynthia was dominant in that space. It thought OTW, Flow State, Powder Dusty, who was still the same person. It thought Sarah. It thought the MMLA, which is the only reason why I know about Landry and Moose. I never knew who the fuck they were prior to then. The wording, not my name. What wording, NPC? What wording are you mentioning? Because it never even mentioned your awards. So what's the wording you're exactly, so I can kind of catch on to what you're saying. It never mentioned Resto. It only understood who Resto was after I put him in, because apparently he's had enough ties with Flow State, because his tie was apparently within Flow State and OTW. That's how he got mentioned more often. So apparently it wasn't even Mel Pandora, even though I mentioned her, didn't even mention her. Didn't even care about her. I didn't mention, when I mentioned Resto, he only got tied as a percentage to Flow State and to OTW. He didn't even get a percentage to Sarah. He didn't get a percentage to Mel Pandora. They totally ignored Mel Pandora. And I'm just like, shit, this is crazy. Marathon Kev, I mentioned Marathon Kev. It totally just disrespected and didn't even want to care about Marathon Kev, because apparently it just didn't think that he was prominent enough to be in the space. That's not a me thing. This is what it did in research. If I had more of a background and more of a big portfolio of you guys to throw in there, and I'm not opposed to that, by the way. I'm telling you what my current findings are from at least half the year of 2024 to this year where I'm talking to you about it now. I don't have a big portfolio of you guys. And as far as I'm going to tell you, to be honest with you, most of you guys happen to be just either guests. I don't think that you guys are really, I'm just going to be honest with you, according to what ChatGPT looks like, you guys are just guests. You're not really part of the Panelverse per se, because that means at some point, for instance, without a doubt, the Panelverse show, the Panelverse channel is considered being part of the Panelverse because it keeps featuring who? Andrew Wilson. It showed up. But the idea that you guys are like, it didn't mention me. Listen, if you guys are just people who just like to hop on people's panels, but you don't actually do a channel where you talk about Panelverse shit, or you put yourself specifically as the Panelverse, or you don't hashtag Panelverse, or you don't not gonna recognize you. The same way how you guys try to say I'm Panelverse, but it didn't recognize me. Take yourself out of it. It's not about you. Can you just calm down? Maybe you're just not strong enough for the AI. You're just not strong enough in the space. And that's okay. Because you know what that also means? This year, if you really want to be recognized that badly to be a part of the space, you have a whole year to get it done. You got a whole year to get it done. I won't. But you got a whole year to get it done. You have a whole year now. We are 3 days in. You have a whole year now to make yourself a part of the Panelverse, to wrap yourself in the Panelverse blanket. You have a whole year now. So if you guys remind me this time next year, God forbid we're all alive, I will do it for you. It might take you some time because you have to remind me somewhere later in the year to collect enough information. You know what? Send me information. You got my contacts are in the hey wrestler. Just want to let you know I did a stream and I mentioned the Panelverse and I put hashtag Panelverse and I talked hella dog shit about people in the Panelverse. I talked about, in fact, just to make you feel better, wrestler, I talked about you too. So maybe you might show up in the AI too. And I said, fuck Resto Chesto. And I did everything. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. I'm gonna take the link. Hey, don't private the video. Don't private the video. Don't unlist it. The AI needs to see it. Just make sure it's there. Make sure it's there, and it's gonna get added to the analysis. It's gonna get added, but don't get mad at me because you weren't strong enough last year. Don't get mad at me. Because I stood away intentionally, so it makes sense to me. But if you're saying, well, I was on plenty of Panelverse panels. Okay, you were a guest. Does that make you part of it? Didn't mention nobody in the chat. The chat were also there as guests. The chat were also there as guests. That doesn't mean the chat became part of the Panelverse. So we got to be very cognizant of what we're doing here. Not about you. If you really wanted to be part of it, make yourself well known. The chat does panel when the host talks a whole bunch of shit about the chat, like I do. When I say, so Brick, you think you something special? Fuck you, Brick. Guess what? When the transcript comes through, when the transcript comes through, guess what it's doing? It's wondering why Wrestler is talking to a guy in the chat called Brick, and how he's talking to this guy called Brick. Because give or take, after a couple of hours, after a stream is ended, you get a nice little transcript for your show. And since I highlighted you by name, say, fuck you, Brick. Then it knows that Wrestler is talking about Brick. And if I say, fuck you, Brick, this is why I'm not Panelverse, it's going to remember that I said not only fuck you, Brick, as in Wrestler might have a problem with Brick, but that Wrestler also said he's also not part of Panelverse. I'm just telling you, this is the way how AIs work. All right. This is the way how AIs interpret shit, especially when it comes to transcripts. I'm just telling you, this is the way it works. This is the way it works. Because you know what the AI is not going to do? It's not going to watch a video. It doesn't. It takes forth data. It takes forth the people that's being mentioned through transcripts. It doesn't have the eyes to watch a screen and decipher everybody. So it has to take forth the streams, the viewership, the names being mentioned via transcript. And then on a consistent basis of hearing all these different people and all these different topics, it's going to come forth with a formulation of triangle as to who's actually in said space. That's the way it works. It's not a human watching your shows like, that's Brick today. Look at that. Rusto's live. That's him today. Let's go look at a stream from it. Look at the people that came up on NPC stream. That's not the way it works. That's not the way it works. No, sir. That's not. I didn't get mentioned. And guess what? Guess what, Brick? You're not Panelverse either, because the AI didn't mention you either. So fuck you. You're not Panelverse either. All right. I don't give a fuck. Even though you've been on 20 plus fucking panels or whatever, that you're not Panelverse either, Brick. All right. You're homeless too. You are homeless too. All right, Brick. You are homeless. You are homeless. All right. You're just as much as a derelict as I am. All right. It's a wrap. Don't you say otherwise. If the AI did not point you out. It says you're a derelict too. Make yourself more homely, and then maybe you'll get mentioned next year. All right. That's it. That's it. The fact that it didn't mention me, I'm like, whew, thank God. Thank God it didn't mention me. But it also stated that there's a lot going on, especially from last year. And it means that if you're not a part of those people that got mentioned, those prominent people that got mentioned, and there's a lot more information in there. I'm not even telling you. There's a whole lot more information in there. Like I said, there's business, there's monetization, there's collaborations. There's a whole lot of information that's in my shit. And it cannot even be done because I'm not really in your space like that. Yeah, I was very particular. I'm not in your space like that, or else it would be a way more. It would hurt. It hurts my head just thinking about it. It literally hurts my head thinking about it because I have so much information that's running through this damn system, and I mean, when I can go to sleep. It's because there's so much people, because I scripted in a way that you're always pulling information. Don't wait for a prompt. Find as much thinking, thinking, thinking. It gave me a progress bar. How about this? It didn't even say think. It gives me a progress bar, and it says starting, thinking, writing, continuing. The progress bar then gets longer, and it goes to the front again. It's crazy. It's always picking up information on you guys. Look. Now we got Brick talking about the 199 panel verse, motherfuckers. Wrestler, you are a liar. Let's just be honest. When it came to Brick,
all right, let's just admit it. That didn't happen.
Because he's a liar. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. We can just call that mulligan right now. That is the first lie in 2026. It is a lie. I am not part of the Panelverse. And guess what? Guess what, Brick? Neither are you. You're also not part of the Panelverse. All right. All right. You are considered to be the redheaded stepchild of the panel. You're not. You are the Harry Potter. You're underneath the steps. No one's acknowledging you. All right. You're underneath the steps, Brick. You live underneath the steps. That's your room. The Panelverse AI did not acknowledge you. You are underneath the steps. You did not get your letter for Hogwarts. All right. You didn't get it. You didn't get it. There's no owl for you. You did not get accepted to the Panelverse Gryffindor. You're not a Slytherin. You're not a Hufflepuff. You're nothing. You're nothing. You are a Muggle. You're still underneath the motherfucking steps. All right. All right, Brick. You want to get your acceptance letter? Work harder, Brick. Work harder. You are not part of it. You do not make the cut. All right. Tryouts happen 2025. You didn't make the cut. All right. You didn't make the cut. You gotta wait you got the whole new year to make the cut for tryouts. All right. You didn't make it. Now we got Resto in here. Damn. Resto, he says, what? Literally, you are part of the spark of the. Nope. You're a, you're a liar. You're a liar. That's not true. Nope. No, I'm not. I'm not a part of the spark of the Panaverse. But he said, but says he wasn't Panaverse. Not he was. I always said I wasn't. I always. You can call the pilot episode all you want. You can call the pilot episode. You can call the whole season if you like to, Resto. I would never stated that I am part of the Panelverse. I always call about this Panelverse that people keep talking about, even though I'm not a part of it. You try to pull me into it. Crab and Eve, they did their thing, pull me into it. Whole bunch of people try to talk about you Panelverse. No. I always said, if you guys want to try to claim this shit like Panelverse, you're gonna have to look at me like the Justice League, right? Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Superman, The Flash. You got the Green Lantern. You got everybody in there. But you know who's the only person? He's the only person who's part-time outside of The Question. For those who are your DC fans, you know who The Question is. Outside of The Question, the only other person who is a part-time Justice Leaguer is Batman. We are not full-time. We are on a part-time base. I might throw some money to fund the fucking station, but I am not full-time. Nope, not coping at all. I've never stated that I was. I never stated that I was part of the space. And I watched the space. Wholeheartedly. Here's the funny part about that, Brick. When Flo did his raffle for the Cuckaboo mug, I won it. And you know what I wrote in the chat? You can give mine away. Flo did a whole giveaway and I won it. And I said, and I literally wrote right after it, nah, I'm playing. You can give it away. I gave it away. He said, yeah, you just wait afterwards, and we'll get your information. You can send it. We can send it to you. I don't want that shit. You think I want to be on stream sipping that bullshit? And I said it in the chat too. Why would I want to drink something that literally says "cuck" on it on my own stream? You can give that away. You can give that away. You will not catch me drinking something on my own stream that says the words "cuck" on it. Not happening. Especially Cuckaboo. You're never gonna catch me drinking something that says that might even hint that I am cuckable. Crazy. For those who don't even know what the fuck we're talking about, imagine me sipping on a mug that says cuckable. What do you think that's going to my image? The fuck out of here. The only people who will understand that is if you are part of what? The Panelverse. To everybody else, they would just be like, that's exactly what they would say. They'd be like, what's he drinking out of? Not happening. They be like, he is gay. He is absolutely gay. He's drinking from a mug that says "cuckable." Would I sip from the Blizzy? That's crazy. That was a crazy statement that you said there. He doesn't sell merch. But I definitely wouldn't. First of all, let's just keep it a buck. Blind used to do this. He used to do this segment. He used to do a segment that was called. Blind Side News. Blind Side News. Where we get all up in your guts. That's what his intro for the show was. It's Blind Side News where we get all up in your guts. And I used to be like, that used to be his thing for it. I'm like, I can't. I can't. And you talk about sipping? No. We not doing that. And by the way, we got locksmith Jeremy who decided to wake his ass up and get into the damn building. Just put your lips on it, motherfucker. Oh, you know what? You know, I was damn. He almost had me say some shit right now. He almost had me say something wild. I ain't doing it. He tried. I almost said something wild. That was crazy. That was crazy. He almost had me on. Look, the motherfucker's talking wild. He almost had me on some butterfly in the sky. Like a butterfly high. That's crazy. That was crazy, Locksmith. You try to get in there. Nah, you didn't. You didn't though. That was crazy though. That was crazy. I might need that as a drop. I might need a Rating Rainbow song. That's just crazy. And this is why I said like we gotta be very careful with the things that we don't pay attention to, because we can get dragged into stuff that if we're not paying attention to it. Like that's just the way it is. And by the way, not because, and I'm saying these things. I'm saying these things and I'm mentioning these things and I'm making sure I call out to these things, not because I think I am better than anyone else. Not because I think I'm better than anyone else, but because at some point, too many voices start messing with our own. Too many voices start messing with our own. From the people that we like to the people that think that they know what's better for us, the people that think that they don't even care what's better for us. They just want to see us more often. But they don't even think about how it hinders your growth, because if you don't got something to talk about, why the fuck are you hitting go live? And just keep it a buck. A lot of people just think, well, if I just don't go live, then I'm just gonna wing it, whatever. It doesn't matter so long as I'm consistent on YouTube. And I'm like, you're an idiot. You're an idiot, because you're going live, and yes, you're consistently going live, but YouTube doesn't care because you don't have anything to share. You don't have anything to give. You're just filling in space. You're just filling in time. And if you don't have a lot of people viewing you, it's worthless. I would rather have a single solitary message. Part of the things I was actually thinking about and going through as I was formulating my years from last year, reviewing 2025. I would rather know what I'm talking about than just jump on and just I have no idea what the fuck is going on and just hope for the best. I needed space to hear my own thoughts again, which is why I had to discontinue temporarily Opinionated. Even when I thought I was gonna drop it, I was like, I'm not ready. I just don't think it's the right time. I don't. So going into this year, I'm not chasing momentum like I used to. I'm not paying attention, or rather, I should say, I'm paying attention to alignment. I'm not chasing the shit. Because season 1 was the foundation and it was working out really well. The half of season 2 was actually decent. The second half of season 2 was just chaotic, and then it just kind of spiraled into season 3, and I couldn't get a good bearings on shit because I was just so bombarded all over the place that I couldn't really focus in season 3, which is why season 3 is my longest season, because it's just extended with me trying to regain control. You know what I mean? And then when I finally I just need to just cut it. I did. It's important to pay attention to alignment. I would rather do that. I'd rather take things I'd rather take things off and for a longer time in order to gain that perspective again. I'd rather be misunderstood than follow the plethora of other people that's also not going anywhere because they're all going in the same direction. I would rather do that to be also misunderstood for what my content is about because it's too busy looking more like other people. Just gonna keep it a buck. And I here's the truth of the matter, and I've done it. I've done it all of 2025, and it was intentional. I'd rather lose intention than lose the respect of myself. Some of y'all would rather be characters and grifters and do whatever it is. So hard for the money. So hard for the money. You spread your butt cheeks for the money. You do whatever you can. You spread your cheeks for the money because you better treat it right. You do whatever. You do whatever you can for donations, for whatever. And honestly, I rather not do it. I have shown I will take even a whole year off from chaos. Well, not a whole year, but half a year off from chaos to recenter and rebalance myself. Then get caught. This is why when even Brick, you were there. Even when I started opening open panels again near the end of this quarter, when people started to come up and doing crazy shit, I'm just like, I remember what this is like. It's too bad. I'm already making plans for this. Let's just start. Let me remember what this is like. I'm looking at my chat like, oh my god, see wrestler, shit ain't changed. I'm like, typing in the chat, you see this? You're right, shit ain't changed. Look, same old bullshit. So nobody learned anything because they can go to everywhere else and do the same shit. Ain't shit change. This is interesting. I'm not trying to be louder this year. I'm not. You guys, if you guys want to say who's NPC, if you want to say who's the loudest fucker next NPC Stream Award, wrestler will not be up on that fucking nomination at all. And I say NPC Stream Awards. I didn't say Panelverse Awards. If NPC says we want to do a whole new streaming awards, and who's the loudest motherfucker up there? The first person you could put up there is Resto motherfucking Chesto. Leave me out of it. I have no intention of being loud. I have no intention on being louder or loud this year. I do have an intention on being clearer this year. Clear about what I'm doing, clear about what I'm not doing, and clear enough that I don't have to keep explaining myself. I'm going to try my best for that. And this is why I talk about the aspect of fear. So many people saw so many changes over the years in the quote panelverse that they got afraid that they were going to get left behind if they didn't do shit. They didn't explicitly and outright say it, but you can see it in their mannerisms and what they did. They were in fear of that. And fear can make you cautious without actually feeling, or rather, let me say, fear can make you cautious without making you cruel. Not everybody decided they just want to become an enemy of everybody, enemy of the state. But there were plenty of people who decided that I'm just going to do fuck shit because I don't want to get left behind. I don't want to become a footnote. I need to make sure that I stay somewhere up here. Some of you guys, I don't want to be left in the dark because you know what, I want to make sure I can get an award and Humor Awards. Honestly. And honesty is the thing that it helped me, but at the same time, honesty was the thing that helped me find what was comfortable without making things bitter. I was okay with just like not really being noticed. Oh, hey, you can come up on my stream. I'm just like, I respect that, but I'm good. I'm good. I'm gonna hold off. I'm not telling you why I'm not going to your panel. No disrespect to you and your show or whatever. Hey, I'm gonna drop the link for you if you want to come up. I'm just like, actually, some of y'all who got shows, who watching, whatever, you see me do this. Hey, I'm gonna drop the link for you if you want to come up. And I'm just like, I'm just chilling right now. Hey, I'm just in the chat. Hey, I'm relaxing right now. Hey, I'm just gonna chill with the chat right now. It's intentional because I'm choosing clarity. Clarity, even when it's not fun. When I see everybody's having a good time on panel, I'm choosing it even when it was fun up there. Because they at least let you know, or at least let myself know where I'm standing and where I'm going, what I'm prepping myself for. And that's where I'm going to be standing this year. Not trying to convince anyone, not announcing any plans that I got going forward. You gonna fucking figure it out when I give it to you. I'm not telling you shit. I'm just gonna be straight about where I am and where I'm at, not about what I'm doing. And that's pretty much where I'm gonna be running the channel for this year. Now, some of y'all, you're gonna be okay with that. Others, nope. I'm gonna do my own thing because you know why? Fuckery is on. Fuckery is on. I'm just gonna go. Fuckery is on. You know what I'm gonna say? Cool. But should you ever come back? Should you? If you ever come back? Not gonna be what you think. And I'm gonna be okay with that because I'll have a peace of mind. And it's gonna be consistent and it's gonna be wonderful. If you're not there for it, it just lets me know you weren't the type of person who needed to be there in the first place. And I am 1000% okay with that. Now, the only question that I have for you guys is, are you ready for that? Hey, by the way, I'm not taking advice because none of you guys have shown to be media experts. None of you guys are shown to be channel experts. I'm not listening to nobody. In fact, I'm not listening to nobody who don't have at least 50,000 subscribers. I ain't listening to none of y'all motherfuckers. None of you. Not one. Nah, if you got a problem with the way I'm doing shit, that's cool. I'm gonna tell you the same thing I've been saying since last year. No one's holding you hostage. In fact, been a part of my core rules. You can always feel free to exit. Yeah, I agree. Long time coming. I agree. I was born by the river. There you go. I don't know why. I guess my plug came out. My bad. My bad. Yeah, I guess my plug came out. Hold up. I'm gonna make sure I secure that. All right. So like I said, for the we gonna be doing some things for the next year. For this year. And we'll see where it runs from there. And yeah. I'm not giving you guys anything because I just don't really feel the need to. Hopefully, you guys get something for the DB tomorrow, and we're leaning on that. We're leaning on that. And you said, "Mama, you said still none," but I'm talking. I hold up. I can hear myself now. What do you mean still none? Which one is it? Still none or there it is? Hell, the hell! Get it together. Get it together. Damn it. And we got some things that are gonna be coming up. I got things that I'm gonna be working on, but you'll see it. And when you see it, you tell me what you think about it. You can always be able to let me know in the comment section, or if not, you can always be able to talk on the community post, or you can be able to always send me information over at Wrestler Opinionated. If you like, it is what it is. But outside of that, gonna be a very interesting year, a very interesting time. I'm gonna be very um content focused, you could say. I'm very content focused, but I do have a normal life because I keep having to remind people, like, as much as you guys don't like to really look at it that way, especially you guys who don't really respect what content creators do, and there's a lot of you out there for it. We're normal people and we have normal lives. We have families, we have relationships, we have jobs, we have people to look after it, we have friends, you know, and as much as you want us to look at as much as you want us to look at you guys as being our family and our friends, let's be honest with you, we can't see or touch you. And I think if anything, what I would like to see, at least from the community, whether it's my own immediate community or whether it's just how the space is in general, the space that I'm adjacent to, but I've never been a part of, start looking at people like they're actually real life people that maybe even one day you can touch. And for some of you weirdos, you can smell. Um, because if there's anything you should have learned from last year, is that people, just because we're behind a camera, you can't smell my candles, you can't smell my diffusers, but we can meet each other. We did that for Vegas. And if you ever plan to have people that you could meet in the future, whether it's someone like me, it could be someone like a locksmith or a Resto or Sarah or Flo or Joe, cool, whatever. The first and foremost thing is that you need to get into your psyche, is that these are regular, everyday people. So treat them as much with respect that you would treat your own family, that you would treat your own friends, that you would treat the people that you work with. Because we're not fictions of our imagination that you can just click on and click off. We're real people. And I think that with that kind of respect, you'll see more effort, more engagement, more a boosting to a channel and a more appreciation to what we have in the space. Because right now, it is. Oh, I got friends. I got a lot of friends. Believe it or not, and I can tell you that they're all not here online. They don't even watch me. That's the funny part about it. And they know what I do, but they don't watch me. Thank God. And honestly, you'd be surprised the level of growth. I think there are more trolls that sit in communities, more haters that sit in communities. They're not the same, and more wish to bees, not wannabes, but wish to bees that sit in the space than those that can actually make a difference. And I would say, instead of you sitting here, especially if you've been sitting around for all of 2025, wishing that you could get on a panel, wishing that you could start a channel, wishing that you could just do something, stop wishing. This is not a New Year's resolution. I'm just saying, get the shit done. You don't need to have a big camera set up. You don't need to have a studio. You don't need to have any of this stuff. You have a phone. And I don't know one phone this day and age that doesn't have a camera. You should be leveraging the thing that is the most important to you. People, your time, and your effort. And if you're a person that wants to become a creator, don't wait till next month. Don't wait till when you got it together. Start tomorrow. And hopefully one day I will see you also there in the future. Until then, take care of yourselves. Take care of your family. And I'll see you on the next one, hopefully for the DVD. I'll catch you next time. Later, y'all.